Now, going over to the culture part of the podcast, you have Bud Light MGO Blue tweet is roasted as usual, with the top tweet being, quote, never Bud Light, not until the CEO is fired, unquote. So they're trying to get back into the sports balls. I mean, traditionally, Bud Light used to have a lot of sports balls fans, music fans, patriotic fans. Then they continue to shoot themselves in the high-heeled boot, perhaps arguably worse than Ron DeSantis in terms of marketing campaign. And they lost about 30% of their sales for that specific brand, and that's about 26% by sales by volume for the Bud Light brand specifically. Budweiser down about 12%, and Anheuser-Busch, their proprietary brand Michelob Ultra, that's down around 4%. All of the remaining 40 plus Anheuser-Busch InBev products are negligibly affected by the boycott, as what has been coined the Bud Light boycott. And they're spending record amounts on spokespeople. I think it was one of the Manning brothers got an endorsement where he's doing commercials, pretending to throw cans of beer across the bar, which, again, wouldn't be very prudent because then it'd be shaked up, and if you're opening it to explode, granted, by default, the safest way to enjoy any Bud Light beverage is to just keep it sealed, ideally outside the property of the premises. Heaven forbid you actually get some other material actually on your tongue. Taste buds might just melt or explode. Now, again, 2 years ago, this probably would have been a successful tweet. They probably would have had a lot of sports balls fans saying, yeah, we love your cheap beer. You sponsor most of the events. I mean, college people will buy cheap beer. It used to be the default, which is what every business used to pray and hope for. I mean, it took years for the Kleenex company to become that default name. I mean, it's not tissue paper. It's Kleenex. It's not just gift wrapper. It's not just tape. It's Scotch tape. To have the brand be so synonymous with the actual verb or the object, that's the pinnacle of marketing for a business. That's what Bud Light had. But they hired Alyssa Heiderchild, and she was very much proud to say, "Oh yeah, I'm the first." She had on LinkedIn the first woman marketing executive in the industry, and she thought, "Let's pay Dylan Mulvaney $185,000, a lot of money, for a couple pictures and video. Let's get away from that Friday image." And yeah, then they crashed and burned precipitously. Now, in terms of the tweet, I guess they did use the Michigan emoji logo, so I guess they did a little bit right for marketing. Perhaps we give them modicum credit. Not a lot, just a modicum. Not even a 1% on the scale. Nevertheless, their specific quote said, quote, yelling hashtag go blue M as we crack open our next Bud Light, unquote. And again, I took these statistics actually 48 hours after they posted this. So it's not like we're taking this 2 minutes after they posted it and trying to manipulate the data. This thing has had time to brew, pun moderately intended. And it only got 20,400 views and 73 likes. Which again, not to brag, but last week I did get a video with 20 likes. Now, granted, they also have billions of dollars in marketing and advertising dollars. So, apples to oranges, or perhaps a Yingling compared to a bucket filled with throw up, or what's something I was discussing that's comparable to Bud Light. Something to that effect. Now, again, we're going to the comment section. Again, we already know the top one by default, but we'll go in top comments and see. Maybe I'm alone in this analysis. Maybe everyone thought, you know what? Yeah, MGO Blue. Yeah, we like you. We believe you. You like sports balls. Yay, America. Yeah. I doubt it, but let's dive in. Again, the first comment side is specifically from name PB, and PB said, never Bud Light, not until the CEO is fired, unquote. That got 25 likes, and is at the very top of the whole thread, which is not great. Someone actually responded to him. Marcus said, quote, Bud Light marketing team, and it is a bunch of men dressed in drag, as well as having fake body parts on them. Let's see here. Looks like someone actually was contrarian, maybe sticking up for Bud Light. James Russell said, quote, so why are you following them, unquote? Get a life. Got one like. I'd say free entertainment's a good reason to follow Bud Light on social media. Then someone responded to James, saying boo-hoo. So I guess most people did agree with that, as reflected by the number of likes and the comments. Now, someone called the man they call Payne responded with I don't know what movie this is. It's some clip of trying to keep this moderately family friendly, a man tucking his junk and the police confronting him. And that got 8 likes, and they had a little Photoshop picture of Dylan Mulvaney's face put on that individual. Let's see here. So that's 2 for 2 negative comments. Third comment is Skull Talk, say, quote, Just want to remind everyone to never forgive Bud Light for insulting its customers and continue to not buy from them, unquote. They got 9 likes. So that's 3 for 3. Luke Goxbox 75, unique name. This gentleman simply says unfollowed, unquote. They got 6 likes. That's 0 for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what about the 5th comment? John Burlstein says, quote, maybe you should have the dude Dylan do it for you, unquote, getting 6 likes. So that's 0 for 6 comments. James Russell says, quote, damn, but what a game. Cheers. A positive response to a Bud Light social media post? Further investigation is surely called for. So looking at, let's pull up Mr. James Russell's profile. This individual does have 41 followers, joined in March 2023, so it's not like it's a ghost account or a new account that just popped up overnight to make Bud Light look good. 41 followers. Now, that being said, quality over quantity, they might very well be the best 41 people on the planet. Now, he is self-proclaimed in the bio, baseball and hockey, Golden Knights and Las Vegas Athletics, barbecuing is my pastime, sports better. Better than what? Sports better. Or perhaps he is a gambler? And perhaps if he is so much in debt with some type of mob or a criminal organization, perhaps that's why he's giving accolades to Bud Light? There might be some truth to that theory. But let's go to the post, see what he's about. Let's see here. His first comment is, if you aren't an Aaron Rodgers fan, you should be now. It's people flipping off Jimmy Kimmel holding the Epstein list with Jimmy Kimmel on it. He has a couple of those. James, he then says, vote for more. Wait, don't vote for. This sounds so grammatically awkward, it can't be correct. I'll attempt to say it anyway. Quote, don't vote for more in 2024, unquote. God, that sounds awkward. Almost as awkward as Ron DeSantis' smile, or my smile. They're both pretty bad. So that didn't get any likes. And a bunch of them about sports balls teams. So I'll be damned. It looks like it's a real profile. So he talks a lot about, what is this? The New York Jets, Super Mario. Interesting. A legitimate positive Bud Light comment? This is the kind of thing that only happens once or twice a year. May very well have to maybe print this out, laminate it, frame it, and send it to the executives at Bud Light. Be like, you got one. You got a positive comment. This is a time to behold. You deserve a beer. Not Bud Light. I want to punish you. Perhaps the gang leg. Now let's go back and see what more comments we got. Let's see. Jay Mills says, quote, try Ohio State. We drink real beer in Michigan, unquote, getting 4 likes. Esteban simply has the GIF, or as youth might call it, a GIF, of Dave Chappelle from an iconic Comedy Central, his Dave Chappelle show. I forget. There's one where he was talking about like the best rappers of all time, and his name of the show is Dylan, or Dylan, I believe is how he pronounced it in the show. And they ask him like, who's the best 5 rappers of all time? He goes, Dylan. It just calls himself 5 times. That got 1 like. Let's see. Adventures of J&K simply says, quote, because you have plenty to share, unquote, getting 3 likes, which, yes, they probably have overflowing inventories. Fury, but mostly peaceful tweets, responded, quote, was partnering with Dylan Mulvaney a good idea? No, can't say that or you'll anger the wrath of the Troons. Yes, great, do it again in 2024 then. See, the problem with inserting your brand into conflicting and cultural opinions, unquote, that got 8 likes. And again, because they are stuck between a rock and a hard place. Or perhaps a more apt metaphor would be between a rock and a Bud Light case. Like, if you're trapped, I forget what, there's a good book, a chilling tale about a gentleman who is rock climbing by himself or diving or something in the middle of nowhere desert with the rocks. And there's a situation where actually he fell and a rock pinned one of his arms so he couldn't move. And spoiler, if you haven't read this fascinating tale, he has to take his own arm off in order to leave and get medical help. And he did survive, thankfully. But if you're in that situation where you're in the desert and your arm is pinned under a giant boulder and you have fixed rations, you have, maybe 1 liter of water in a little backpack bladder thing, 1 or 2 granola bars. But, next to you is a keg of Bud Light, and the water's gone. What would you rather drink? Would you drink the Bud Light, or your cover your ears if you have children listening, or your own urine? What would be more appealing if you're stuck in that situation? That would make the movie a legit horror film if that was the scenario. I can't even fathom being in that area, but yeah, between a rock and a hard place, more like a rock and a Bud Light. It was a little bit of a long metaphor, but I think it was worth it. Now, going down even more, Blow Biden says, quote, hashtag boycott Bud Light, unquote, getting 3 likes. Let's see here. Star Fox simply says, surely not, I stopped drinking your brand and I won't do it again, unquote, getting 1 like. A lot of people using memes and GIFs of Dylan Mulvaney, but they're not getting any likes, interestingly enough. This Reality says, quote, maybe you should simply go away instead. We haven't forgotten what your Dylan disaster and how your marketing head insulted your customers, and we never will, unquote. They got 1 like. I'll be damned. Another real positive response? Let's investigate right now, see if it's real. This is coming from Al, and they have a yawning emoji in their name as well, so perhaps it's a lazy Al, but nevertheless, it's not a weird Al, so it's disappointing. This lazy Al, or allegedly lazy Al, says, America stands with Bud Light. No likes. Let's go to this profile. Let's see. The profile says 42. I don't have my brightness on the screen turned up enough. It might be an African-American man or a woman. It's the emoji. So 42, black emoji, 4 kids, divorced, never been ratioed. Blue hat. Block equals own a cat. What? W's only 100%. They said 42. It sounds like a child, but nevertheless, this person has 140 followers. They joined May in 2022. So it's not a overnight profile created. It has been around for a while. They have, I don't know, it looks like an African-American athlete with a sweater that says Sacramento Proud as their banner. I don't know what sports balls that is, but it's an alleged sports balls. This person, let's see. They love sports balls. Okay. What else? A lot of sports balls being reposted. But it's a real person. They're not just doing the repost for win some crappy gift card, allegedly, or some type of scam. So I was going to say that's a real response. I'll be damned. Let's go to the comments. There's a couple more here. A lot of gifts. What is this? I forget. What's that? I think that's Chris Rock. They had a couple Saturday Night Live sketches where they dressed up as women in drag. And they're saying, like, 2 snaps and rewind. There's a couple of those that got to be getting between 1 and 2 likes. And, of course, they go to the very bottom, and you get that disclaimer. It says, show additional replies, including those that may contain offensive context. Of course. More free content? Why wouldn't I click that button? So I click that button. One of them, well, I can't even say this person's name. Alligator F House, and this person said eat trans private part. They got no likes, but it did attempt to post that. Times of Palestine responded, and they have some I guess that's their flag. It says, they have the GIF where that's a problematic phrasing. Well, many people are finding that phrase problematic with the conflict. They are saying from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, which many people are saying that's implying violence and morally vacuous things, to say the least. That got 0 likes, but 21 views. I don't know why that would be on a Bud Light comment section. Let's see here. Anwar Planta has the juxtaposition of Sylvester Stallone and Dylan Mulvaney, and allegedly Sylvester Stallone saying, I'm not saving your woke brand, as he declined $100 million from Bud Light. Which, again, I've seen that a couple times in the Bud Light threads or the Bud Light posts on X. I'm still trying to find the original source to see if we can confirm that. There's a couple... I've read about some different sites, but if you have a reputable site, I'd appreciate if you have any additional comments. Obviously, it's also appreciate that. But for that one in particular, I'm trying to see how that would have been a thing or not. Now, other things that were hidden include Trump 2924, which again, these are sounding familiar. I think these are also hidden comments last week as well. And this person did a picture of a gentleman with a beard and ponytails holding in a dress, holding a Dylan Mulvaney Bud Light can, and the text on the GIF, or not GIF, on the meme says, we identify now as the queen of beers, unquote, getting 1 like, which is making fun of what used to be their old catchphrase or the old mantra of the king of beers, which was one of they're one of the longest campaigns in terms of having like a catchphrase. Now, River City Dude chimed in, and this said, it's all about cracks, LOL. And then it's a GIF of someone saying super, super duper gay. And they got 1 like and 53 views. So those, again, so those were the hidden comments. And you scroll to the very, very top. So again, it looks like there's that little hidden button. Those are all from the same profile, Trump2924. And this person replied, looks like they were responding to people as well as someone's, excuse me, it wasn't just responding to the original Bud Light post, it was also responding to people who are commenting on it. So this person's responses from both of those are censored, and that's why you're seeing a couple of them. And the one is a picture, or actually several of the same thing, picture of Bud Light, the Pride bottle, where it's a Bud Light aluminum bottle with all the flag colors on it. And it says, the text by it says the number one choice of, trying to think of that. I don't think there's a nice way to say these pejorative terms of a pejorative word for the trans community, and what used to mean a bundle of sticks, which I think my generation only knows because of The Simpsons, back when The Simpsons was actually a thing. So he says those 2 words, and that got 4 likes before this was super hidden. And he used that same thing as another response. That got 1 like. And then Warren Wonder, a not safe for work picture of Dylan Mulvaney enjoying some activities with a Bud Light bottle. And that did get 4 likes before Bud Light did hide it. So again, as the youth might say, Bud Light was ridiculously ratioed, to say the least. Not starting off 2024 in a good way, Bud Light. And again, in this case, I don't want to say epic fail. Well, actually, I do. I do want to say epic fail. But still no interaction from the Bud Light team. They seem to be very inconsistent. Now, again, perhaps they were simply inebriated by drinking Bud Light themselves. But they're really not that consistent, like, in terms of interacting with the end users. When there are, because again, we found a couple. There are technically some positive responses here. And they're very sporadic if they do or do not interact with them. And in this case, perhaps they just chose to walk away from the Bud Light marketing blunder, where they were ratioed overall ridiculously. Perhaps they just chose best not to interact at all. Maybe they watched War Games one too many times, with the tic-tac-toe scene where they think the only way to win is to not play at all. Retro throwback reference, but not too shabby. So let me know in the comments, do you think, again, they're focusing very much heavily on sports balls. Maybe they'll try their old shtick where they try to appeal to people in this music industry, and maybe they'll try to ramp up the veteran programs that they used to be so fondly known for. It'll be interesting to see, but again, as the Magic 8 Ball would say for Bud Light, their marketing is, the outlook is not so good. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, I'm trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of January, so if you click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, leaving a comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback on how I can improve the show, make it better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.